So first I wanted to make something quite scholarly, only social anthropology point of view of development. Since you are not a social anthropology students, I choose another method to introduce the Hanoverian society. So I selected 50, I don't know if we will have time, I hope we have time, or I will have time to all of them, 50 pictures and some maps to introduce this society. And each time I will try to give you social anthropology development. Maybe sometimes it will be a deep social anthropology, maybe for others it will be too easy, so it's quite, it's more a general presentation. So I will first, I'll just give you the title of my PhD, so you have an idea on what I worked on before, and I'm doing my 3 years fieldwork there. So the title is Abundance of Ancestors, Abundance of Rights, Socio-cosmic Relations of the Mongyan Patak Mindoro Island Philippines. What I call socio-cosmic is like the Earth. You will see there is a worldview drawing that I made of the Mongyan, you will understand. So why socio-cosmic? Because the cosmos is related with them. There is no such things as natural, supernatural, or nature, culture. They don't have those kind of position. If they see a malevolent spirit or a bad spirit, for them it's not supernatural. It's just normal. So I will start. So now I'm not used to do many things at the same time. Okay, so this is the map of the Philippines. So it's small then, because I did not know that the room will be long. So I can try to make it. Okay, so it's hard to hear. Manila is here. So this is Mindoro. This is the south of Mindoro. That's where you have the Mongyan Patak. So you can see it's very near Panay Island. Here, Boracay is here. Some people went to Boracay, so it's near Boracay. Here you have Cuyon Island and Palawan. So it's also very near Palawan. Here it's called Romolo. So very near Romolo. And Batangas. Okay. Then, okay, so now it's Mindoro map. I think if I well remember, Mindoro is the 10th bigger island in the Philippines. I forgot the, excuse me, I forgot the, tell me sometime doing that. I'm not used to hold the microphone. So it's the 10th, I don't know in square kilometers, I forgot, but it's quite big. So the north is very near Batangas. You have you can see Luzon already. So it's divided in two. You have Oriental, Occidental. You have Calapan there, and Rojas. Where is Rojas is here. This is Bulalakaw. So this is all Oriental, and this part, the capital, the regional capital of Occidental Mindoro is San Jose. And you have another big town now, Sablayan, and you have Mamborao there. So the Hanuno Mangyan, they are in this region, in that rectangle. That's it. Maybe we'll go back to that map. That's why I leave the slides on the side, because I will go back sometimes to the other maps.
I don't know exactly now in 2017 how many Filipinos are living on Mindoro, and I don't know how many, we don't know how many Hanunoo, Mangyan or even Mangyan. So you have 7 main ethno-linguistic groups, commonly called Mangyan. But in fact, they are Alangan, Bukid or Buhid, Iraya, Mangyan Patag, and Bantog. Patag means flat, Bantog is bundok, mountain. And they are called Hanunoo Mangyan. Hanunoo means real. It's because in fact, before, when maybe missionaries, but also some former anthropologists during the 19th century and the early 20th century, they realized that the Mangyan is not all the ethno-linguistics group of Mindoro, it's only one. And that's why they added the term Hanunoo means real in Minangyan language, in the language of this one. Now I wrote plus Gubatnon. Gubatnon actually it's they are Mangyan, but it's like they speak a dialect. So it's of Minangyan, it's the same. Then you have another group called Tadyawan. Then another one with different dialects, Tao, Buhid, Bangon, Batangan. And they have the Ratagnon. Ratagnon are in fact Mangyan Patag who intermarried with especially Bisaya migrants. So now I will go back to this map. Pity I don't have a piece of wood or something there. No, it's okay. The Iraya are near on top of Puerto Galera, there. Tadyawan, there are only, I think, 400 left of them. They are living somewhere here. Alangan people, they live up there on north. Batangan, Taupuit, and I wanted to speak Tagalog. And Batangan, Taupuit, and Bangon, they are so like here. The Bukid here, Hanunoo Mangyan, Ratagnon here, Gubatnon are somewhere there. So they are all over. You should know that before they all live near the sea. They are not mountain people because as a people, when you arrive in an island, you will not make your field in the mountain. It's so hard, steep mountain. So they were all living in the flat areas. Then with the migration and the different colonization and the wars, they slowly went inside the mountains. But they will tell you, I had the chance before to meet some people who are living here, and they were telling me that they were living in Sablayan before, but they were drove away, or don't you say that, by new migrants. What else? Of course, for example, if you have Hanunoo Mangyan here or Mangyan Patag Bantod living near the Bukid, then they will have common words or they will know at least 2 languages. Now, most of the different groups, they can speak either Tagalog or Filipino or a Visayan language like Hiligaynon or Waray. It depends to with whom they are talking daily. That's it. If you have questions, before I go to the other slide, your questions are welcome. It's not a very formal talk, and you ask your question after the talk. If you cannot help and you want to ask your question, it's okay. Okay, so I had the chance to do field work on that. Actually, I did field work on that area, mainly on that area, and they are the last Hanunoo Mangyan people living by the sea. I met some Iraya in between Puerto Galera and Abradillo. There, they are not yet concrete. There is no road. The road is really bad, and even there is no road at all because it's very steep. And they are still living by the sea too. That means to say that before they were fishermen, agriculturists, and hunters, and even gatherers. They also gather wild food. We'll go to that later. Okay. So now in Mindoro, you have a lot of Filipino migrants. They are called Ganun or Cristianos by the Mangyan. So the half northern part of the island are mainly Tagalog speakers, and the half southern part of the island mainly different Bisaya languages speakers like Hiligaynon, Rongloano, Atlanon, Waray, and Kinyaraya. Okay, this one is called Surat Mangyan, or Sulat in Filipino, and to this day, well, less and less Mangyan can write that alphabet, but when I was doing field work 30 years ago now, they are 25 years ago, they were quite fluent in writing their own alphabet. To this day in the Philippines, there are 3, we call them also pre-Hispanic alphabets. So you have the Hanuno Mangyan, you have the Bukid, the neighbors of the Hanuno Mangyan, and the Tagbanwa in Palawan. So it's 3. What is quite particular with this writing is that it was not used for like to write the laws of the society or to write heritage from the parents to the children, for example. They were only used to write heptasyllabic poems, rhyming poems. Those poems called Ambahan were the subject of the poems are very different. It can be about death, and about life, about love, about even an ancestor will talk to another ancestor, or a shaman will talk to the ancestor through the Ambahan. In anthropological literature, a lot of the foreigner anthropologists, maybe because they did not research enough on the Ambahan, said that they were only used for courtship, and they were only talking about love and things like that, but it's not. It's even, actually, it's even, you call that, a religious language. Because when a shaman, there are so many there are so many types of shamanism. You say shaman or shaman in English? Shaman, right? Shamanism? Shamanism? Okay, sorry. Shamanism, okay. There are so many kinds of shamanism, and so that's why I put quotation, because I don't know exactly that the Mangyan shaman, they don't go into trance. It's not in the process or in the ritual itself. They don't go into trance. But anyway, they use the Ambahan to talk to the invisible. Okay, instead of calling them supernatural beings, I call them the invisibles. Visible, invisible. That's the real distinction between the entities of the society. Are you visible or not visible? So the visible, it's us, no? The people, the human being, the living or the dead person. But then the invisibles are the, in Western languages we call it the soul, and then the spirit, invisible. No, ancestors are invisible, ghosts are invisible. So when you're a shaman, you can see the invisible, and you use the language and the poems which were written like this before, during a shaman ritual. I'll talk a bit if I have time about that later. Okay, that's the We're going from the wide north from Philippines, Mindoro. Now, that's where I did my field work. So before there were only, let's say, before the 60s, 1960s, they were living in hamlets, from 2-3 houses to a dozen. And in the 70s, they were obliged by the Panamin, by the government, to this one, for example, Bangkalan is also called Panamin Project. Panamin is the presidential assistance for the national minorities that was under the government of Marcos. And so this one is a village now, it's quite big. In the 80s when I made field work, this one did not exist, Ambulong. Then there is a village here. Now it's another story. The Hmong living here, they were in the mountains, but because of the peace and order problems, the government told them, forced them or imposed them to live here in Ambulong. But all those numbers, only Bangkalan and Ambulong. So there are 2 villages. This one is big, small. All the other numbers are hamlets. So there is 2 or 3 houses there. So they are by the sea. And usually, you have a spring. Springs are very important. On that side, there are no houses because there is no water. There are no natural spring. There is no, until 7 years ago, there was no electricity here at all. So, the water is here. So they were all living here. So you have springs, and especially the important springs are the ones that don't get dry during dry season. The season is very dry in the south of Mindoro. The dry season is very strong in the south of Mindoro because of the mountain range of Mount Bako, the second highest in the island. So of course, when you're a human, you're clever, you try to put up your house near a spring, not 2 or 3 kilometers from the spring. That doesn't dry during dry season. Very important. We'll see also why after it's important. Okay. So here it's on the, we're on the so that's peninsula. Sorry, I have 4 languages in my head. What's that in English? On top of the peninsula. So where there is the side where there is no water, that's what you can see. This is actually this one is called Campingan, from the Camping before anyway. So here, I think here it's Mansalay. It's a quite big village, and that's the mountain range of south of Mindoro. So this one is towards Bulalakaw. There are less trees, but there are less unmet forest. There is almost no more forest in Mindoro anyway. There is secondary growth, but I say no more forest, no primary forest. So here is Mombako. And this one is going towards Panay Island. It's not Panay Island, you can see. It's called Simirara, this one. But after, if you continue like 3 hours by bangka, by boat, a motor double-hour trigger, you can reach Panay and Boracay. So here it's on the peninsula. Very far you cannot really see, but there is a village here. But we cannot really see. I have some houses. This is quite, as we say in Filipino, medyo kalbo na ang ibang lugar. Ang mga ibang lugar, kalbo. There's no more forest. So now it's near this, it's on the seaside. I just give you that so you know where you're going, you know, with, especially if I give you some social anthropology, if you don't see exactly where it is, I think you will not understand. So here you can really see that there are fishermen, but in the mountains here you have fields. You have dry slash and burn agriculture. Okay, so it's a house balay in Filipino, in Minangian. So here you have two families living, for example. Here's the kitchen. The kitchen is quite big actually. It depends really on the creative that value of the person. Some families, they will have a very small kitchen and not really organized, but some will have really organized. It depends really on the character of the person. So here's the kitchen. Here is one house, and this is a second house. So here you have the parents, they live with their children. The children, one child is married and they have children here. It's very near I was wondering what's that here on the picture, but it's this one, sorry. Okay. And all the houses are to be built in the same direction. This thing here, wow, no, I forgot what you call that in English. The main transversal roof post, something like that. It always has to be from the east to the west. That's the direction. There is another house here. You see, it's the same building of the direction. And here there is some, actually this house, they made a field, cultivated field very near. Here you have maize here, then there is no coconut and banana. I guess here it's sugar cane. Okay, Maktal Anako, I forgot to put the English. That means what we call in social anthropology, the nuclear family. So it's the parents with the children. But actually here, 3 children are missing. There are 5. So here, so you see how the house is built on post. There are some stones here. It's, because if the dry season is quite dry in that area, the rainy season is quite rainy. It's quite strong too. So there is a lot of, not really flood, but mud around the houses. That's why they put also stones. Or here they put water here. Before it was, of course, it was upo. I don't know upo's English. Squash, the big squash container that they make, like the Hawaiian used to make here before. I don't know if you saw that in the Bishop Museum. Did you see that big squash containers, dried squash container? They are wonderful. Okay. So around the house, they always have some food plantations, squash, or here you have banana or different style. So here is inside the house, Sulat Balay in Minamian. Here there is a woman who is resting. Sorry for her because she's cut here, she's sleeping. So this is the kitchen that you saw before. And this is the inside, so you have the splitted bamboo. It's very practical. Very practical. And that's it. There are many, before you build the house, there are many rituals that you have to accomplish. You cannot just say, oh, I build my house here. You have to ask permission to the ancestors of the earth. They are called Apu Daga. Daga is the lupa. Daga in Filipino means mice or rats, but Daga in Minamian is lupa. So you have to ask the ancestor, the people who live under in the soil, in the ground. So you have special rituals with and there is a branch of banyan tree, or there is also a ritual with the maize seeds. well, I will not. I have no time to go in details. And of course, also when you will, they say to plant. They plant the post, right? They are on post, on wood trunk post. So you have a special order. You have to start from the east, sunrise, and then the other one like this. It's quite ritualized. Even the construction of the house, you have always small rituals to accomplish. Because people don't own the land, no? Before, you don't own the land. You just like you borrow the land, or when you do agriculture, you don't really own the land. You own the products that you get from the land. You own the trees that you plant, but you don't really own the land. That was like that before. Okay. Then Congo. So it's Cyprus. This one. So this is also, it's another house. It's the second one we saw. I chose that pictures because the Hanuno-Mangyan women are still weaving. The younger ones, not so much because they go to high school, sometimes university if they can, but it's quite rare. But this one's still very well alive, the weaving. So it's called the backloom weaving technique. You can actually see here, but she tied one piece here, and this one is attached to the wall of the house, and so she's the one. Actually, the body of the weaver is really part of the weaving technique. It's like we can even extrapolate and say, extract that and say that it's like her body is part of the different parts that you need, so the weaving can push through. And because here she will press her feet here, so it's the tension, there is a tension. Actually it's quite hard, they usually complain that their back is painful. And this one is I don't know the technical terms in English, that's the one that you put inside to make the weaving. That's it. And she's wearing an old skirt. This one is a new one, but it's an old one. And beads also, hairband beads. And they used to, among the different ethno-linguistic groups of Mindoro, they have different material, distinct things. For example, the Hanuno-Mangyan, they know how to weave, but the other groups, they don't know how to weave. Because the Hanuno before used to grow their own cotton, and they know how to, I was able to see that, I don't know if there are still people doing it. They will make their own thread with the cotton from the raw material, and then after they make the thread, they can weave, and they use the indigo plant to dye the white cotton. And they know how also to make bolo. Bolo was English. Machete. Yeah, machete. Or they can make small knives also. They have blacksmiths. Yeah. They used to use blacksmiths, manual blacksmiths. But of course, the iron that they get before, I don't exactly know where they got the iron even before. Maybe from the Spanish, brought the pieces of iron from the boats, or I don't know exactly. But they know how to make bolo and knives. And for example, the Buhi ethno-linguistic group, the neighbors of the Hanuno-Mangyan, they make clay pots. And the Hanuno-Mangyan before, until now, they did not know how to make clay pots. So they will exchange clay pots against clothes, for example. Okay. So this is the kamag-anak. That's it, like in Filipino. It's the nuclear family plus grandparents. Here you have the grandparents. Here, she's the mother, even if she looks young, but she's the mother. The father is not here. So here it was during dry season, so the kitchen is not, they don't have to put the fire under shade. You can do your cooking outside. And that's how you sit. You squat. Okay, so it's actually it's a Christmas there. You know, it's a Christmas dish that they are doing. Well, now most of them are Christians, even though they keep their own religion, the pre-Christian religion. I don't know you can call that. And then so, but no, they don't go. The young one, the young mother, she goes sometimes to mass, for example. They never go. Actually, this man is a shaman, and she maybe goes once a year to the church. And then here you have a plantain banana that they are growing, and actually it's sticky rice that they make for Christmas with coconut, creped coconut and some brown sugar they buy in town. So here's the groups of parents. That idea of those circles come from a Japanese social anthropologist called Miyamoto. I like that idea that he has, very good. So I borrowed it in my PhD, but I changed it a bit actually. And well, they are French, they don't have time to make a new one. So it's mag-anak, it's the parents and the children. After here, you have the kamag-anak, so it's the nuclear family, plus the first degree cousin, second degree cousin, and their parents. So it's what we call the extended family. But for me, the Hmong, they have the smaller extended family and the larger extended family. So for me here it's nuclear family, smaller extended family, and this one here, it's called katawohan. Katawohan, that means Tao is Tao, that means people, human beings. So here it goes until the cousin of fourth degree and the parents, so it's a lot of people. Usually, no, not usually, but the wedding rule, the marriage rule is that you don't marry a member from your katawohan. That means to say, if you get married, if you choose a spouse, he should belong to the fifth degree cousin. Well, we will not go in kinship anthropology because it's a bit complicated when you don't have a background. And here is Iba Tao, so in Tagalog is Ibang Tao, no? And so it means different humans. That means to say that they are really far. They are not connected with you by blood. So it's the fifth degree cousin and his parents and grandparents. You have questions? Or?
How do they call foreigners? Are they Iba Tao or?
The foreigners, well, no, the foreigners are called Damuong. Damuong, no, Damuong, that means that they came by the sea, no? So it's the foreigner, the people who came by the sea. After them, they came to Mindoro. More people came by the sea. And they are called Damuong or Cristianos. Now, like, of course, for example, yeah, it's true, I did not talk about my field work, but well, I can talk about it now. When you arrive in a village, when you are a foreigner, especially a white, or Western, whatever. Western doesn't really mean also something. Anyway, so they will call you Damuong or Cristianos or Americana. I'm an American. Okay, Americana. So they don't. Before they did not really make the difference. No, before the different people, if they are, they are all called Damuong. And So in my case, when I arrived, you don't call your elder, any elders, you don't call them by their name. It's not possible, because the elder respect, you really have to respect the elders, and so you have to call them by their kinship terms. That means to say, okay, then I tell you about fieldwork, because I said that in my small summary that I will talk a bit about how you make fieldwork. So first, what you do when you're still in your master thesis, you do short fieldworks where you want to, in any country, in France, or the Philippines, in the United States, we can do anthropology in the United States too. And so you read as much as you can about what was written already on that ethno-linguistic groups. And then you make small fieldwork to see if it's possible to do it, if you feel comfortable, whatever. And so you know already, you have some knowledge about that ethno-linguistic groups and how they live and a bit how they think. But in my university where I graduated, and my advisors, the methodology is that you have to learn the language. We don't work with interpreters. Well, I know that there are a lot of French anthropologists working on Africa. They have interpreters, or they are not good in languages, or they can, I don't know, or there is a tradition that they don't learn the language. But with my advisor, he really said you have to learn the language. Hopefully, I knew already Filipino Tagalog, so it was not too hard for me. So you learn the language, and according to what you have read, you will have a kind of a problematic already. You will say, for example, oh, I want to work on that. But in fact, it doesn't really work like that. It's like for myself, when I arrived 2 weeks, like when I did short fieldwork, that was 1 month fieldwork. And after that, I met already some Hanunomangyan, of course. When I came back to do the long PhD, first, some anthropologists will right away have a different house in the village. That's not my style. I prefer to stay with the family first and build the house after. So when I entered that family, all the elders, either I will call them elder sister, elder brother, or even their parents, I have to call them dad and mom and dad, and grandfather, grandmother. So that's how you also learn all the kinship terms. Anyway, you have to learn that when you do social anthropology. Kinship is important, even though it's not really in fashion anymore those days, but it was at once. Okay, mother, what else I wanted to say, wait. Yeah, you address elders, and then, yeah, I don't know idea, but I can continue, sorry. I just made a parenthesis, and then I forgot what was the subject first of the sentence. Never mind. So you address elders, and what happened is that 2 weeks after I arrived, there was the secondary burial of one of the women I met 4 years before during my small fieldworks. So what is a secondary burial? It's also in Mindoro. The Hanunomangyan are the only one, are the only ethno-linguistic group that practice secondary burial. Is first, when somebody dies, you will bury the person. Then after 1 year or even more, you will exhume the bones, clean the bones, and you will wrap the bones in a new blanket, and you will dress the bones. I have pictures. I don't know if I have time. If you're interested, we'll see. I'll try to make it shorter. But it's not on the PowerPoint. I have a special file with that. And then anyway, and then the it's a beautiful ritual actually. Anyway, so 2 weeks after I arrived, that was the secondary burial of that adoptive auntie. So this event, I didn't know I'm going to work really or to research really only on that, but, well, I did not research only on that, but then I just became interested with their way of how they view death and what do they do with their dead. And so I started to develop my research on funerals, ritual. There are 5 different funeral ritual to be completed or to have a full death or funeral rituals. It's very interesting because the wedding ritual is very short. It's not really important. You have societies who will have a 1-week wedding ritual, very complex with details, very many things. The Hanunomamian, they have that, but with their dead. Because the dead has to become an ancestor. When you die, you're not an ancestor, you're just a dead person. And it's through the different rituals. After many years, then you become, or the dead person becomes an ancestor. It's called Apo. All the ancestors, Apo, Apo. Apo in Tagalog, in Filipino, means grandchildren and grandparents. Apo. Oh. Okay, where is that? Well, okay, never mind. So we were in that family. Okay. That's it. So I was talking about how I was in my fieldwork. So then I started to really specialize on the funeral and the dead, how the dead are becoming ancestors. Then of course, because of that, you have to study their religion. So the old people, they used to say that our religion that's how they define their religion. They don't have a God, a unique God, or they don't have gods. They don't call them gods, but they have I would compare them to the saints in the Catholic, in the Christian religion, the saints. It's like some of our dead, like in Christian society, some of our dead people, they become saints. Saint Thomas, Saint John, Saint Peter, right? So they're like ancestors, actually, in a way. That's how I would compare. And that's why I think, I don't know if Dr. Akawili is here, but he was talking about, we talk about the Quiapo Black Nazarene. And I understand why it's so popular, because it's like a saint, and you know, the fiestas, Mona Barrio fiesta, is always connected with a Christian saint, right? So it's like the ancestors, somebody who lived there, or whatever, anyway. So then I also research on the religion, so on the ancestors, and then shamanism, and how a person exists, because in Hanunomamian, you're a person, so you have, so it's not, let's translate it spirit, but it's not a spirit, it's called Kararadua, Kalulua, no? Dua means two, so it's like you have it here when you get born. When you are born, you have a life principle here, and then it goes as you grow to who you are. It's dalawa, no dua, two. So it's always, and here you have in all your body life principles, and so you have a body, you have a life principle, and you have the breath, haro. The breath is very important. And to be able to live, you need those three together, right? So of course, at night when you dream, they say that your life principle is traveling, doing some travel love, I don't know where, not sure. And then, So I researched on that too, and then kimchi. And then I was adopted. I realized that I was adopted because even though they don't have an adoption ritual, wait, that's something there. Well, it's a long story, but like if I go to Manila, and when I came back one time from Manila, my elder sister said, oh, we kept some dry meat for you because we did a very important ritual for our dead ancestors of the family, and all the siblings should eat that meat, and you have to eat that meat. So I said, oh, I'm your sibling already, I'm part of the family. Even if they did not say, oh, you are now adopted by us, it's a ritual. It's just through time that I realized that. By the way, when you do social anthropology, you should not stay that long. When you stay too long, it's very hard to come back to France, for example, for me. It's better you stay only 1 year, you go back. And then if your data are missing, you go back to your figure and you come back. But 3 years, 3 to 4 years in a row, it's a bit disturbing culturally or even emotionally sometimes. Okay, we continue. You have questions? Okay. So now we will go to their livelihood. So that's one technique of fishing. They make they're very clever. They just make a wall with the stones, and when it's high tide, the fish come, and when it's low tide, the fish stay inside, and I tell you, sometimes you have a lot of fish. Here they have a lot of catch. There's a small one, Telis, in Filipino. And this is a mosquito net. They use it as a fishing net. This is very clever. That technique is very, very clever. They don't work. You know that there is a social anthropologist, French one, but I'm sure they are also from other countries. They said that the ethno-linguistics group before, not all of them, but some of them really do not work as much as we work in the Western world. I tell you. So they are fishing also with the baluto, the double outrigger. Okay. Oh, this one. Now they are going to. Okay, that's about field, planted field. Usually their field are not near the house because the house is near a spring, right? You remember a spring that doesn't dry. So they will make their plantation fields quite far because it will be further and further the house. They were what we call semi-nomadic before. So they will change places, but like every 10 years, every 30 years, every 40 years, it depends on what's going on, the event in the family and whatever. So usually the fields were quite near, but since now there are more and more migrants that are taking their land, because these people, they don't have land titles, no? For them, they don't really own the land. So now the fields are further and further the house where they live. Usually you will see after they have a field house field. Anyway, so here it's preparing. I am with this couple. So she took filed some field. She filled some a gallon, they call it gallon, plastic gallon with water, and he just took some areca nut, buma. This is because these people, they used to chew. They chew areca nut and betel leaf with lime that they make from the seashells. Shells. Nganga. Oh, mama, they call it mama, not mama. Nganga in Filipino. Actually, she just made one. That's what she's doing like that because she has red lips and she did not want. Okay. So they are preparing going to their field house. Okay. So you have to walk around, I don't know, 45 minutes like this. So we are on top of the peninsula. So here there is a papaya. Here are some, it's not very clear, but it's just you see how high it can be. So you can see banana. Here there are some maize. This is not rice. They have rice. They used to grow, they have taro, they have, anong ube sa English? Ube. Yam. They have yams, they have taro, okay. And cassava. Cassava is manioc. They have manioc too. And they have rice that was brought by the, maybe not long ago, I don't know, 1,000 years ago, I don't exactly know. Actually, it's interesting. They say that the ancestor of the rice, their rice, comes from a small village in Aklan province from Panay. That's why I think that it was really connected, the Hanuno culture was really connected with the south of Mindoro, like Panay and Palawan. In Palawan and in Tagbanwa language and Minamang, there really are also close words and rituals. The Tagbanwa used to do, to exhume also their dead. Actually, the Tagalog used to do it because William Henry Scott wrote an article on that based on the Spanish missionary writings of the 16th century. And there is a small passage there where it says that Tagalog people used to exhume their dead. And they also have 9 life. The Hanuno Mangyan, they have 8 life. I explain. When you die, your life principles goes away, and it has to go to a place where all the life principle will go before you become an ancestor. And then, before you become an ancestor, the life principle will inhabit smaller and smaller wild animals. And it should be 7 times. So 7 times like this plus when the life principle was in a human body, so it's 8 deaths. So after 8 lives, you go back to the soil. You become soil again, because all the ancestors, for them, they live under. There are no ancestors far away in the sky. Only the old people before, some of them went to live in the sky and became stars. But that's in their myth, mythical story, mythical history. Okay, so it's a field house. Well, it's barely visible, but it's here. It's big. Actually, it's a big house. So here you have maize, banana. This is manga. Yeah. The same. There are still a lot of. There are no more wild pigs there, but there are a lot of monkeys, and they love the mice, and they are fighting the monkeys. I tell you, yeah, a lot. Here, okay, that's the field house. So it's a bit not very clean, huh? It's a bit shaky. Also, the house you will see later. So here is the man is grilling or anyhow, whatever, the maize. And here we have a baby dog. I forgot when maybe it's during rainy season, it's in August. So you know it's colder, and if you get wet then you feel cold, so even the people will be near the fire, you have to get dry. Oh, here it's okay. She's an adoptive cousin. The guy was an adoptive uncle, she's an adoptive cousin, so she's also eating mice. Yeah, that's nice. Very important, it's in August. So here it's like the resting after working in the field. So this is the house field. You see the floor is really shaky. You can, they don't fall, but you know it's very shaky. This is a coffee, brewed coffee, whatever. So either you have the, and we cannot see it here. This This is the coconut bowl or the plastic bowl, whatever. It's like camping. Here we are resting. So we have a hammock. There is a hammock here. She is getting the beans and the guy is sleeping. So that's the late afternoon. They used to sleep in that house, but sometimes they go home because it's really steep, 45 minutes. So usually they stay, and also to fight the monkeys, you have to stay. So here it's how you carry the bananas. That's for selling. Now they integrated themselves slowly in the. I would not say globalized economy, that would be my abundance now to say that, but not sure, I'm just joking. But they are in the market system now, cash system, whatever. So they sell that to the lowlanders, the migrants, and the migrants sell that in Calapan, in Batangas, or in Manila. But now that they have cell phones since a long time. Even though there was no electricity, they would walk 1 hour just to charge a cell phone, where there is the electricity. And actually it's nice, the cell phones are nice also for doing business, so you don't have to have intermediate. Instead of I will have my banana, I will sell it to Fred and Fred will sell it to you, then I can sell it straight to you because I have your cell phone number, something like that. So it can be really nice how you use your cell phone. So here is another family coming back from the field, so they put all their harvest or whatever that is, squash, beans, they also have tomatoes, they plant a lot. Then taro, yam, whatever. Usually you have to cover that because they say that the spirit of the food might go away, so you cover it. Something like that. Here she brought some palm stem from a palm tree to make some baskets. You can still find few horses introduced by the Spanish. Here the sacks are full of coconut. He's putting coconut. That's also for cash. Okay, that's back to the house. It's uncooked rice. No, she's cleaning the rice before she will cook it. But you see the table. They only use tables since 30 years. So that's where we will eat, but they sit on the table also, actually. You see, he's grating coconut here, but he's on the table. That's because of the dogs, actually, the dogs and the chickens. And the cats are just here waiting for some. So actually, this guy is a shaman. I will talk about that a little bit. Until what time is the talk, exactly? Because we have to reserve 30 minutes for exchange, whatever, or more.
Our class is until 5.
So it's, you're okay? You're not too sleepy? No, I think you're not too sleepy. So that's just, I like that picture because I like it. I think it's a very beautiful picture. Maybe it's a bit blurred here with on that part. It's a grandfather with his grandchild. It's still very traditional, wearing headband, cotton headband, cloth, and a bahag. He's wearing a bahag actually. Well, here is his daughter doing basket weaving. We have a very, very fine basket we call by own. What is to make actually by own. It's really, I don't know if we can make it, how do we make it more here maybe. You see how fine it is. This is really small. This is really fine. And the young ones, they don't know how to do that anymore because they go to school. I mean, I have nothing in, it's the new life. They have to go to school if they want to live, no? So, but then you change your culture, that's for sure.
I have a question. The previous slide, could you go back to that?
Yeah, we can
The
just...
grandfather and
The granddaughter, it's because of the doll? No.
previous one. Yeah, but you can enlarge it a little bit.
More?
Okay, I noticed that two items in the material culture have entered the Mongolian culture. The baby doll and the watch. These
Okay.
are modern items.
Yeah. Okay, the watch, it's a long time that they like watches, since a long time.
Do they use it to record time or?
No, he use, it depends on your character. Some Hmong women or men, they like watches and they will really use it as you and me. Some other Hmongians, they don't care, or they did not have the chance to find a cheap, good one, or or whatever. This one doesn't come from me. I don't know where it comes from, that watch. But they used to have their own time system. They have at least 10 different, where the sun is, or the light is. They know exactly, and they have at least, I think it's even 12, like every 2 hours. So you know more or less when you have to meet people. Well, that's what we call Filipino time. It was already like that long time ago. Filipino time, for sure. It's not very accurate, but you don't need to be accurate there. Now the doll, it's a personal story. It's an old doll of my daughter. My daughter is big now, so it's a present. So it's normal the doll is there. But they like that doll very much because it's that brand. We will not tell you the brand, but the brand they are gendered doll, baby. So this one is a girl, and they really like the idea that it's gendered. They don't like dolls that are not gendered. It's interesting. So it's a girl that this one here is a baby girl. And it's a very strong one, so it's still existing. Okay, Valentine. Let's go back. Okay, so she's making, that's the final product of their bio. So on that thing that they will put black rattan that they put. Yeah, that's a nice one. Anyway, another technique that they are really also very good at is, wait, I go back to the, where is that? The 100%. I know we cannot see it anyway. So it's a wood carving, or wood. They're very skilled. He's making the handle of. He's carving the handle of a machete, boro, with a small. You see the small knife here, and then. Some of the guys are more the same imagination or creation that he made a face here. It's a nice one. In the evening, that's in the evening. So I was telling you about the chewing. No? It's two things. Let's put it that way. It's a vice. Like smoking cigarette, drinking wine, or whatever. They are really addict. You can really, they're addict with that. They used to tell me if we stop chewing, we die. Okay. And but it's also always a connection. Since the people are doing it every day, always. First thing they do in the morning is they chew. Last thing they do in the evening, they chew. I mean, the older generations, the younger ones, they don't want to chew because they don't want to be called Hmongian by other Filipinos, because when you chew, you have red teeth, and you can even have black teeth because you can choose a special vine to make your teeth black. That the blackening of the teeth, it's not only in the Philippines, but it's also in Vietnam, Cambodia, Southeast Asia, also Southeast Asia, New Caledonia, I think here, no, not showing here, right? The Hawaiian people, do they used to, no, okay. But actually, it's also a religious belief, because when you wear black beads, or black clothes, or you have black teeth, you are not visible. You are closer to the invisible. It's quite symbolic. So, and since they believe, you know, the Filipinos, in the main culture, they have this aswang concept. The Filipinos, maybe you all know here, the aswang, like bat, like a monster, female monster that eats fetus and things like that. So they also believe that if a dead person is not well buried and well exhumed, if a dead person did not have the right funeral rituals, it becomes a bad spirit or a malevolent spirit. And they eat the body of the people, of the living people, right? So you have to escape them. You have to, so you have to be invisible too, because they're also invisible. Black is one of the, I'm not wearing black today because of that. So anyway, so, okay, I was in the Bethel chain. So here it's also a cache, because other Hmongians, they don't have, this couple, they have a lot of vines with betel leaves, and so they will make bundle, capit, that's 5 by 10 leaves, and they sell that in the market. And it's they can buy salt and or cooking oil and gasoline for the light, water, socks, soap also. So in the evening, that's what they are doing. And they use, during each ritual with the ancestors or the dead, they will offer betel and areca, betel nut, no, betel leaf and areca nut to the dead too, since it's part of the culture that you show. And when you meet someone on the trail or on the road, if you don't have a leaf anymore, then you will ask, oh, do you have a leaf? Okay, can we exchange leaf against nut and whatever. It's like smokers, you say, oh, do you have a cigarette? Well, I'm not considering, I don't have cigarettes anymore. Like that. So it's the same. It's also a social, it's a technique also to build or to entertain the social relationship between people. Okay, that's, wait, we cannot see, I will put it first. Okay, that's the Hmongian worldview, but we will go back to the bigger, no, it's a big, I guess. Okay, so that's the Hmongian worldview. The tree should be a bit, the tree should not be straight. I did not find a new drawing with the tree should be like this. So let's, well, this is in French and in Minoan, so you cannot really read. So here it's what they call the, I will show it with this one, okay. This is the east, but actually they don't say east. Butlakan means the rising sun. So this is the rising sun, and this is the origin or the base of the sea. It's called Puon Dagat. Puon is origin, base, where you come from or where it comes from, of the sea. Okay, and then the other side, that's the sleeping sun or that rising sun. Setting of the sun, okay, thank you, Pia. You're my interpreter in English. It's called Isalpan. Isalpan, that means it's covered. And they call it bulusan dagat. Bulusan is the, wow, how do you say seafood in English? You know, when you're in the kitchen, you have the water, and there is the hole where the water goes. How do you call that here? The drain. Okay, so it's the drainer of the sea. They call that the drainer of the sea, because for them, the sea and all the waters anyway comes from the rising sun, goes to the setting of the sun, and it goes under the soil, under the earth. And under the earth you have all the different rivers here in blue, and even springs, they all go under the earth. And there is a tree, and this tree is sagasa. This tree is a kind of tree that lives in the roots goes to the water, fresh water along the rivers. So you have a sagasa tree here, and it kind of holds the earth. Because many people believe until now that, well, even though the scientists, they say that the world is round and the earth is round and there's the moon, the sun. The Hmong, all the elders, they like our story. They like the story of the scientists. They like what we say, but they still say that it's like this. It's not like what we think it is. So anyway, actually, even the Manobo in Mindanao, for example, many other ethno-linguistic groups in the Philippines, they think that there is either a giant mushroom or a stone or a tree. They're not the only one to have this kind of world viewpoint. So, and then the earth is connected here by a vine. You have that actually here. I think I saw some. A vine balugo. It's like a tula. It's like a bridge between the surface of the earth and the roots of that tree that will support, that is supporting the earth. Then, so okay, and there you have those big rivers. You have the two big rivers that we saw. I will go back to the. Sorry, it takes a little time. Okay. Sorry, I'm going a bit fast. I want to go back to the Mindoro map. No. Okay. This river here, it's called the Mother River, and this, this river here is the Father River, and this one here is the Son River, but I did not put, but the daughter is somewhere here, and actually there, it is the most religious or sacred place in Mindoro for the different ethno-linguistic groups, because those two rivers, they're, it's like a highway going from the surface of the earth to the underworld. This is the best. When there was the Second World War and with the fight between the Japanese and the Americans, though there were not a lot of fights in Mindoro, but there were some, and of course planes, and of course people were very afraid. They don't know what's going on. There's no radio. No, can you imagine, you see just those planes. You try to think for them. No, it's quite impressive. So they did a lot of rituals here to drive away all these bad things that were happening to them. So that's it. I just don't know how you go back to. I want to go back to the. How did I do that? Well, maybe no, it's not good for you. This one. Here. Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. I'm not a very modern person. So actually, it's my first presentation using a so long PowerPoint. So it's not very plastic. Okay, so those two rivers are here. That's what they say, huh? That's what they explain. So now I have to go a bit faster because no, I still have time. Oh, almost finished. So here the tree. Okay, now on the surface. On the surface, so this is the surface of the earth. You have, okay, you see a house here, so the living people are inside. You have the special ancestors called Danyu, and we'll talk about them later. The Danyu, they live in stones, which are in the basket of the shaman. Well, they don't really live in the stones, like a temporary house. When the shaman will call those special ancestors, they will come and go in the stone. Okay, so you have the house. Then here's the thunder. The thunder is living just here. Here you have the big trees, like even the banyan. They also have banyan valide in Filipino, no? And then you have Encanto or enchanted spirits. Like me, they are white. I think it's the Spanish belief that white human beings were right, that were really superior. So they are called Encantos, Encantadas, Encantados. And some of the Mayans, when they saw me the first time, I think they were afraid that I would just kidnap them or whatever, because I'm tall, white, I have long nose, I have clear eyes. Yeah, it's true, huh? It's okay, yeah. Just have to negotiate. I said, no, not good. Okay, so Encanto, Danyu, Labang. Labang are the malevolent spirits, the one who are eating they are eating the flesh of the human beings, so they can also, because the living, the people, they never offer, they don't have offering for the bad spirits. Why will you give them food? Well, some others, ethno-linguistic, some other people, they will do that, but the Mayans, they don't give them food, they refuse, because anyway, they're eating, they're trying to eat the human being, so why will you give them food? And they don't marry those malevolent spirits. They're alone, they don't marry. So the only way for them to multiply is to kidnap life principle of a human being and eating the corpse. No, I think that we don't really have, I don't know if there is a lot of anthropological research on anthropophagy, people who are eating people, but I think there were a lot of people who were eating people before. Usually we don't like to talk about it, because of course we don't, but I think it really existed. And I think the Mongyan, at one point, they have been eaten by others. I don't know what happened, it was like 5,000 years ago, whatever. But I think it's very present, and not only the Pacific, well, Philippines part of the Pacific, we always put the Philippines in Southeast Asia, but actually they are also very, some Philippine culture, specific values are really near also the Pacific, like Hawaiian or New Caledonia or Polynesia. Anyway, so I think they were at one point, they don't eat raw meat. It's really impossible for them. If you eat raw meat, then that means to say that you can eat people. Even if you eat pig, chicken, raw meat, whatever, or like the French, we eat raw beef, no? Beef de cachet or whatever, you cannot tell them, well, I used to eat raw meat. I never told them because I think they will be invisible or something weird. Anyway, so the bad spirits are here, so they live in big rocks, big trees, or then there are many ways the shaman there are 3 ways to you cannot kill a bad spirit, but you can isolate it, you can catch it and put him or her in a hole and cover it, will not move anymore. So you can like they become like paralyzed. Hopefully you can do that. So they are not just always running around, and there are many kinds anyway. So they are everywhere there.
How do they know it's there?
Oh, they have special noise. They make special noise. I may not do it. I can do it. I stayed long, so I can do a lot of fun. No, and no, they whistle. The Hanunomanian, they never whistle. When you're a human being, you cannot whistle. Because if you whistle, it's bad. It's like it's connected with the bad spirit because they move with the blowing air, with the wind. So you cannot. They never whistle. So it makes noise. Then, or for example, if you're sleeping or you're sitting in your house, it's nighttime. Okay, all the invisible. I forgot to tell you that most of them you see them at night. Because daytime for them is night. Like the ancestors, you never, you don't tell a myth or you don't tell a mythical story daytime. Because daytime the ancestors are sleeping. So if you tell a funny myth, because they are really a funny myth too, it's not only serious, the myth. If everybody will laugh, you will wake up the ancestors who are sleeping because it's nighttime for them and it's daytime for us. So you have to tell the myth nighttime. Then the ancestors are awake, then they will laugh with you also because you're talking about them. You know? So anyway, at night, the bad spirits also, they easily attack you. So like if you're sleeping and you feel cold air, that means that they are trying, they have like spears and they are trying to, you know, whatever. They're naughty, nasty guys and girls, they are the bad spirits. No, it's true. But they have many ways also to chase them away. It's not, you said, oh, it's terrible. No, it's not. It's not terrible. They are laughing a lot, the money, and don't worry. You just have to be careful. And it's one reason you never sleep alone. That's why when you're an anthropologist, I think I rarely slept alone during those 3 years or 4 years of fieldwork. There will be always either a single woman, my age, okay, I was like 25 to 30 years old, something like that, 25 years old. So I will have I think that usually at 25 years old they are married, so it was quite rare that I will sleep with a woman with my age. But a girl, 10-year-old, 8-year-old girl, or 2 girls, or passing nieces, adoptive, whoever, or a grandmother, or you don't sleep alone. When I have my own house, I never really slept alone in my house. Because they don't like, when you're a human being, you don't live alone anyway. Somebody who doesn't get married is weird. Everybody will laugh. Old maiden or old, forgot how do you say in English, old guy, not married. It's not normal. Okay. But now, of course, they start to get used to that too. But they really make fun of non-married old people. When I say old, I'm not thinking 70 or 80 years old. I'm thinking 25, 30, 35 years old. Okay. They live a bit less long than the average Filipino people. Anyway. Okay, and then what else here? So you have the house, the people are inside. Okay, here this line, I don't know you call that anyway, this thing here. On top of the canopy, the top of the tree, the forest, you have here what is called Ulian Caradua. That's the place where okay, I die. Then if I say that in Mangyan, I have to say, I have to say that during 4 years. That means if you never, in their culture, you never say, if I die, if you have an accident, if you get sick, or if my father will die. Because for them, the words are happening. I don't know if you see what I mean. Words are very important. Usually they don't talk like us just to say nothing. We talk a lot to say nothing. We are sometimes very talkative, but what are we saying really? I don't know, maybe I'm a bit mean, but even me, I'm like that, you know, that's in our culture. We talk a lot, but for what? I don't know. And so they talk less, and when they talk, they're very careful. So that's why if you take the example, I'm dead, You can never talk that way there. It's not possible. As we always do it. Well, not always, if I die, not every day, but okay. So let's say I'm dying, I'm dead, and then my life principle will leave my body. The shaman cannot put it back to my body, so I die. It's completely separated, and they say that the breath is broken. It's like a cotton thread that is broken. So it's like the cotton of the breath is the linker, between the life principle that is on the body and the body. It's the linker. So if there is no more linker, the sentence is not right. It's a joke. Anyway, then my life principle will just go around where I used to live the first few days, and after the shaman has to bring it here. There is a place called the place of the Karadwa actually. Ulian is like Ulian. And there is a trail, and with this one here, it's a couple where it goes deep in the thing, but it's like they will say, did you do good things when you were living, or were you bad? They have this concept, also a bit like the Christian good and bad, paradise and hell, but it's very different. But they still try to be judged a bit if they were good or bad during their lifetime. Then after that life principle, of course, after a while, as I was telling you, after the two rituals, then it will start to go to live in a smaller and smaller white animal for 7 times, and then after they will become ancestors here. Okay.
Can the ancestors possess the human body? No.
Okay, so it's a very, very good question. So your colleague asked if the ancestors have a kind of a body. They do have a body, because it's not in the PowerPoint, but I tell you if I have time.
They
Possess. No, they have. Because when, I will show you the other one after. I finish that first. They do, since they dig the bones and they make a new body with the bones. Then they will put the bones in a natural cave, so it's another ritual. It's like another burial, but in a natural cave facing the sea. They will put so it's like, they say that under the earth is full of people, because all the ancestors are there. And when it's daytime, it's nighttime here. And they just walk upside down, like the seaweeds are their rice, the dolphin are their pigs. You see, it's like a mirror of the earth and the human beings and the world with all the ancestors. That's why even if I live there near the sea, I was near the sea, no, I don't swim. Hmong don't swim for fun. They will swim for fishing, or if they fall from the boat, of course they will, okay, they actually do. But they don't go for fun. Just the kids will swim, but just nearby. They don't swim far because of the sea ancestors. You cannot, and the sea is, you saw on the, you can see here, no, the sea is under, there is the beginning of the sea and the end of the sea, and it all goes under. So it's connected. I will show you an ancestor after. If I may say, if I can speak straight like that. It's my adoptive father, don't worry. He's okay. Okay, so here it's spring. It's a spring. I go back to the normal size. Okay, spring. So this one doesn't dry during dry season, so they used to make a lot of rituals. Actually, I'm talking a lot about the rituals for the dead people, but there are many rituals for the rice, for the plantations, the planted for the rice, the maize, for all the field. They have a lot of rituals to build up a house. You have rituals. You have a lot of rituals. I was able to participate in 28. Well, it's not participate really directly, but to observe. That's what we call in social anthropology participating observation. It's like you observe, you join, but you don't do or you don't know the words. But I was able to observe 28 different rituals. So that's a lot of rituals. I mean, it's like in the Christian religion, you have all the Christmas, Easter, All Saints Day, Assumption, many.
Is there rituals for when someone gives birth?
7 days, yeah, 7 days after the birth, there's a ritual bath of the baby and the mother. With they have words and they have special plants and they smoke and the smoke also. Yeah, they do have. But it's not very complex. Other ethnic groups, ethno-linguistic groups, they have more complex. Actually, it really depends on the people. Some people, as I was telling you, some ethno-linguistic groups will have a very complex marriage ritual, very long, and the one it will be on the funeral. That's very important. And others will be maybe agriculture. It really depends on the society. It's not. We cannot generalize. I don't know if it's right, generalize there. Okay. So this one is, so they used to make ritual here. That was more for, the abundance of cultures, but also for the wax, for the honey. They used to gather wild honey. So there were so many rituals there. The spring is really a place where, especially if the spring has freshwater eel, it's called alunat. I think in Hawaiian, I saw that in Bishop Museum, they have that concept of the freshwater eel, and it's almost the same Austronesian word, alunat. And it means that it's a passage, it's a door, or it's an entrance. It's an entrance to go down, to go underworld. But it's also, that's another one. This one is, it's arranged by human beings, this spring here. You see that they put wood and stone, so it's cleaner. So she's just finding water. That's where you take your bath too. If I show you the exhumation, I have to go a bit faster. So here it's called Batu Ili. I think Ili is stone in Hawaiian language. Am I right? Ili? Stone bar or rocks?
Ili is pebble.
Huh?
Ili is pebble.
Pebble. No pebble. Small stones. Here Ili is the rock wall. So it's really big. It's this one here, it's white here. This one is here. Actually, I choose that picture because I was telling you that, okay, I will try to summarize the shamanism very fast. So you're a person, in Hmong Patak society, it's not forbidden for women, there are women shaman, but usually there are men who are doing it because you have to travel a lot, you are called in this house, or you have to walk 2 hours to go to this house because somebody is sick. So if you're a woman, it's always the same story anyway, it's quite hard. They don't have a kindergarten or whatever. If you have children, you cannot just travel in the middle of the night because your neighbor at 1 hour walking is sick and they are calling you there. So usually there are men who are shaman. I met two women. Some of them is after their children are grown up, then they become a shaman actually. It's not when they are young, it's when they are older, they don't have to take care of their children anymore. I mean, physically or materially, or you call it. So anyway, so there are men, and either you will receive that knowledge from your father or uncle, grandfather or grandmother, or you will dream. You will have special dreams that will tell you that maybe you have to become a shaman. And it's in their language, shaman is Pandaniwan. Dani, it comes from the word Dani, Pandaniwan. And the ancestors with whom you will become friends and will have an intimate relationship, they are called Apo Dani. And it's very interesting because Daniu really means only that. It has no translation. But I found out that in Ilocano, Daniu is a poem. It's a poem. And it's funny because in the Daniu ritual, when you do the Magdaniu, you will talk to the Daniu ancestors with the heptasyllabic rhyming poems. So it's still connected with the poems, or a special language addressed to the ancestors. So either you dream, or then, or either it's an heritage from the family, and so you need to have a relationship or social relationship with a couple. It should always be a male and a female Daniu. It's more effective, and it should always be two. Two, the number two is one in their way of thinking. The unity in Mangyan Patag ideology is two. It's like the Karadwa, the life principle. It means several twos, because you have Karadwa here, but then you have here and here, so this is two. You have here, here, then all the, the joints of the body. It's always by two. That's why they don't understand if a person doesn't get married, because he's alone, he's only one. Or you don't sleep in a house because alone, you're alone. So if you want to be a very effective shaman, you need to name and to feed every year 8. The best is to have a social relationship with 8 Adani ancestors by couples or pairs, because they're not married, so let's say pairs. So 4 pairs, it's 8. And then you're very effective. So it's really a long process. It's by dreaming, by exchanging with other shaman in the family. Before, every small extended family have a shaman. They were a lot. Now they are very few, because since let's say since 30 years there are really a lot of missionaries, any kind of mission, Protestant or Christian, Catholic. You have evangelists, you have Seventh-day Adventists, you have El Shaddai, you have Bagong Daan, or Dating Daan, you have a lot of, you have the Christian English, well, Christian English is different. But they're really, they are the last non-Christian people in the Philippines, and not only the Mangyan, but all the indigenous people of Mindanao in the north, and everybody wants to Christianize them. I'm not a pro-Christianizing person. If they need that religion, they will always go there. They will not have to impose. I'm sure they want to become Christian. They just have to knock at the door of the priest or the, when do you have to go there in the mountains and just try to change them. Anyway, so there are less shaman now. There are less, and it's getting more expensive to call them, and so they will cure you, and so it's getting a bit complicated for that. That knowledge is also disappearing, or it's changing. I think it will never disappear completely, because the Christian Filipinos, they still go to albularyo or a healing person, or so it will be mixed. So what else? So this is not really a shaman, this is daytime. But here, so this guy is a shaman. Usually the wife of the shaman or the husband, if the shaman is a woman, is very important because she or he will help during the ritual. He or she will talk to the officiant of the ritual and help to chase away the bad spirit or to get back the life principle that they can see. I talk to the ancestors for this or this bad thing that I did, like I insulted my grandmother, that's very bad there, or I slept with my first degree cousin, that's very bad too. You need to make very important rituals and talk to the ancestors. Well, it's a long process. There is a transmission really from the long-time shaman and the new one, or the one who is becoming a shaman. What is important is the name of your ancestors because you need them to make the ritual, to accomplish the ritual. You have to name them, you have to call them. Every year you have to feed them with a chicken, a cooked chicken and rice, and it's better or not, and all of that. It's a okay, and lastly, well, that's more a political stand, but actually, this is a beautiful place, and of course, the Filipinos from the majority culture, or the Western people, they want to get their land. So they are starting to land grab, but actually there are also some Mangyan who are selling their land, but they don't have land title. So it's because like there was this guy who, when you get old, you cannot see anymore, cataract, and it's expensive there, so he sold this small lot of land just to have the operation. So that spring that I show you, it's near the sea, and just that's what is happening now. You cannot pass anymore. Yeah, that's just a very simple lake. But it's really a problem. It's really a problem. I still have 10 minutes, let's say 4:30, right? Okay, so I had the last slide, but I will go back to if you like to watch what is secondary burial, and what is an ancestor when after they put the bones in the cave. You like to see that too? Okay, so don't clap now because it's not yet finished. Okay, that was Maya Mupak Salamat, that is Maraming Salamat in Minamian, then in English. Now I'll go to the, how do you get out from there? Wait. Oh yes, I go there almost every year. As a matter of fact, they are very sad because I came to Hawaii and I did not go to the Philippines. So I had to write a lot of, but you know, the younger ones, they have Facebook. My adoptive nephew, they have Facebook. They're very more, they court themselves via the cell phone, like you anyway, so they're very modern. So they know I wrote a long letter, especially to the older one, that don't worry, I'm not forgetting you. I will be a faithful adopted daughter or niece or granddaughter, whatever. But I cannot go out from here. I'll add this one here. Yeah. Okay. So, what's that? How do I get on my desk? How do I go back to my desk? I don't know. From my desk. Okay, or maybe we here. We first like it, but we j'ai une application de question. This one, let's close it. I don't know what's that. It wasn't nice. Okay, so here, that's a selection of pictures that it's on that. And now if I want to make it, okay. the old. Okay, it's not bad. Oh, so maybe they will not be all in order because I did not have time to make a PowerPoint. So during the night you have to kill the pigs and you have to cook the rice. That will be cooked during the night because it's noisy, you make a lot of noise, so it should be nighttime. So for the ancestors it's daytime for them. And there are 2 or 3 shamans who call back the life principle of the dead who is living on that, you remember, on the canopy, on the place of all the life principle of other people who died, but they are not yet ancestors, they don't live yet in the underworld, under the earth. So there are always pig meat, no chicken. Chicken is not good there. And there's a lot of rice, sacks of rice. So you're also, usually women are taking care of the rice and cooking the rice. And guys, it's not usually, it's an obligation, and guys are with the meat. Women never kill a chicken, an animal. Actually, it's not forbidden, but I never saw a woman killing even a chicken. Even a chicken, they always... Huh? No, never. It's always, even if it's a 10-year boy, if there is no adults, it will be a 8-year or 6-year boy who will cut this one. So here there are only 2 pots, cooking pots, but actually there can be 6 or 7 because you have to cook a lot of rice. I went, anyway, the secondary burial is the most important ritual. It can reach up to 200, 300 guests. Even you are not from their family, everybody can come. If you know there is, especially you eat meat, they don't eat meat every day, no? So they like meat too, so they will go. Before they will even in their bag, they will steal meat and rice, they will put in their bag. Yeah, there are many stories like that. Anyway. Or here she's keeping the food. Oh, it's a big bag, it's not a nice, but it's at night and you see there is cooked rice here and there is some rice and all the cooking stuff outside. And during this ritual, it's where also the non-married guys will court the non-married girls during those nights. You know, it's very nice to court because it's dark and there is a lot of new maiden and new young guys. And that was like that before.
Do they mourn when people die? Or
Yes, they do. They mourn, but usually they don't. The dead person just has to spend 1 more night. That means to say if you are dead in the morning, well, if I'm dead in the morning, then my corpse will stay overnight, then the next day I'm buried. If I will die during the night, I will stay again 1 more night, then I'll be buried. And they do, they cry too, yeah. Why it doesn't want? It was very nice, and then suddenly I cannot go to the other one. Okay, back to this one, what happened? To do the... here. Okay, why it's all... so it's all, sorry, you will see, that's the end. Okay. Okay, I don't know what happened. So here is cooking the rice, that's cooking the meat. Okay. No, but this is not like this. It all came to not in the right. In the right. That's why the PowerPoint is really better. Okay, so I'm sorry, it will be a bit. I was here. Okay, here, cooking here. Okay. The next is one. Okay, the morning. He's a shaman here. Those 2 are shaman, and there is a new blanket here. They are the daughters of the dead person that will be exhumed. So they prepare new, where is the,
Will they bury them near their house, or is there like
no, before it will be near the house, not near the house, it will be a bit far, but now they are obliged to bury them in cemeteries because the Christian Filipinos, they force them to do so. So they start to bury them there in cemeteries. But you know, they never bury them near the water, drinking water, spring or rivers. They know that it's bad. They will not just bury them, you know, anywhere. They were kind of careful of where they will bury their dead, but now it's they cannot do it. So now it's the blanket where the bones will be, but before this small house here was built for the bones. It's called the house of the bones. It's outside the house of the living, and here he puts all what the bones will wear in the blanket. But still, sorry, I doesn't want to go to the, I have to go back there, I don't know why. Okay, so this is the blanket here. You will understand why I show you how they use this is a new, every object are new. You cannot choose old clothes and old blanket. It has to be new and never worn by somebody. So before you leave, you have to eat. All the people who will go to the grave, they have to eat first. Here there's a guy who is filming. He's a friend. I did not edit yet the film, but I have a film of that burial of my adoptive father. I did not film myself because I thought I might not film very good, because he's my father, adoptive father. I might be. Bakit ayaw? Okay, this one. So, and the bones, they have to eat the bones. The life principle of the person have to eat. So there is also food in the house of the bone. And the family actually we eat here. Okay, it's a bit long because I don't know why it doesn't want to. Okay, so we arrived at the grave. This one was in the cemetery. So there is also a cross because some of the members of the family are Christians, so there was a cross. So here's the old people who are resting, they still wear G-string, and some of them have long hair. They used to have very long hair, the male and the female, the men and women, even the guys until here, and they put, it's never like rock and roll long hair, you know, it's always very neat, or at least with a band head like that or whatever. So now they are digging. Okay, everybody has to dig anyway, they help. It's not very sad. It's not very sad. Originally, you have to dig with your hands, and only wooden hands. Well, now they have shovels and iron. This one here is an iron stick, or I don't know what you call that. And then here is the coffin. He was in a coffin. Okay, so it's a coffin. Before, they don't bury them in coffins, no, they bury them in a banig, in a mat, palm woven mats and blankets, but they make a kind of a house too. The grave has also a ritual to make the grave, everything. That's very long to explain. Okay, okay, I did not, okay, so now you see the bones. So you see they will put the long bones together, the skull and all the small bones. Here you cannot see, but here is the tabiang, tabiang sa English.
Ribs.
Ribs, yeah, the ribs. So here's the blanket. You remember before they came to the grave, in the house of the bones, there was this blanket open. So here they removed here's holding the G-string. Actually, it's a traditional G-string with embroidered sides. Sorry, I don't want to do that. Okay, here, this one, pop. So they put the skull first, but you see how they hold it and they are really, you will see it's a pity I cannot, it doesn't work there. Maybe this one, no. The skull first. It's like when you're born, it's the skull first, hopefully. Because if it's the feet first, it's bad, right? So it's the skull first. So it's like they rebuild the body of the dead. It's a new body, that's why it becomes an ancestor. It's already another story. You know, it's another state of the person. So it should be the skull first. And then on the side of the skull, it's the long bones of the legs and the arms and the smaller ones. It's the same, okay. That's how they hold the bones. It's like crystals. They hold the bones like glass crystals. They're very respectful and very careful that everything is under control. And a lot of people, they have to hold the bones because you have to build a kind of a nice, it's like a person with no legs and no head. So it's only the trunk of the body and the two arms, you will see after. And it has to be a nice one, because if it doesn't stand well, that means that the life spirit of that dead person is angry at you because maybe you did something bad or there is something wrong. This is my elder sister. She was very affected by it, so she was crying a lot. So this one is the omoplate, I guess, that flat that we have here. That's this one here. Yeah. Okay, so you see a lot of people are concerned with the bones. They want to hold, there are a lot of people around, right? Oh, you see now the blanket slowly is, they're trying to make a nice, you will understand. Oh, so how many they are holding, okay, really holding their four helpers here to hold everything. And then, you see, it will make a knot. It's like a package. It's like a package. You see? Everybody's looking. We're laughing, making stories. The life principle of the person is there, no? It's there. It's not waiting in the house. So people are talking about him or her and making jokes. And it's not a sad. Of course, some of the people. This is one of my younger adoptive sisters. That's her father, and also it's normal that she's sad. But a lot of people are actually also laughing. And that's you see, they make with the four corners of the blanket, two will be the handle and two will be the arms. Okay. And here they are putting the G-string. It's long, it's a long process. I don't know, I did not time it, but it's a bit long. So here they put a t-shirt first, because it's easier. So each member of the siblings, all the brothers and sisters, we gave a new t-shirt. So he has 8 t-shirts there, or 9 t-shirts, 8 t-shirts, before they will put the traditional shirt. So you will see it's a beautiful ancestor after. So you see that's the handle and the 2 arms here. Oh, here they put the traditional shirt, and there is this one that's normally for the hair. Oh, here it comes. So that's the result. We cannot really see, but here it's his arm and another arm here. And no head, no? And so it's all with beads. And he has also here a traditional basket, new blanket, something like that. And after, either after 1 week or 1 month or 1 year, it depends on different, what the dead will say, or the life principle will say, how long he wants to stay in the family. Then after, every day you have to give, when you drink coffee, you have to give him a little coffee. When you eat pancake, you have to put half of a pancake there. You have to offer him food. They really think, they believe in, like the Christians, they believe in everlasting life. What do you call that? Yeah, la vie éternelle. Eternal life, right? We believe in eternal life. They believe too in the eternal life of their dead. And after 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year, they will transport the dead, the bones, to a cave. I did not put up the pictures, but to a cave, where after that you never touch them again. You will. There are some rituals remembering them or calling their life principle of the ancestors, but you don't touch their body, the bones anymore. I don't know if there is one more picture. There is one more. Okay, so this is the house of the bones, and the ancestor is inside. It's a small house, and after few rainy seasons, the bones are not there. After few rainy seasons, the house will be destroyed anyway. What is this one? Oh no, that's the beginning of the ritual again. That was the beginning. That's it. I'm finished with that. Questions? Tapos na ako. Thank you very much. It was a bit heavy, but thank you.